All right. Hey, everybody. Thank you guys for coming back to Jessica Monhay's channel. We're talking about being a unsigned gospel artist, or an indie artist, as we call it these days. So if you did just see this pop up on your timeline for some odd reason, I'm just going to give out a couple of information or talk a little bit more about my actual journey of being an indie artist and the process that I'm going to go through. So like and subscribe below, please, and share this information if you do find it informative to yourself or resourceful. So I'm going to go ahead and just dive right into some of the things. Of course, I'm going to cover is talking about how to stay focused and how to stay encouraged while being an indie artist or unsigned gospel artist. Mainly more so because this is the journey that I am currently working in now as we speak. I didn't necessarily just start being an indie artist or a gospel unsigned artist. I've actually been singing, and I'm also a musician, and I've been playing the keyboard since I have been 7 years old. So I didn't necessarily just roll out of bed and say I'm going to become an artist, but I do want to share my journey and some of the challenges and some of the things that we've experienced as being an indie or unsigned gospel artist. So I wrote down a couple of the pointers that I definitely wanted to cover over today. And I'm not going to be here late. I'm not going to be here for a long amount of period of time. Can I get my words out? But if you do stay tuned, I do have some detailed information I want to. You see me continue to keep looking down, it's only because I have wrote down some of the pointers that I wanted to go over, because sometimes I can be unfocused and I don't want to be unfocused, so I just want to get straight to the point. So one of the things I definitely want to talk about, because it hit home to me when I was actually talking about this on the radio station, hence I'm also a radio talk show host for the gospel unsigned artists in the local area here in North Carolina. And if you guys will look below the subscription area, you'll see a little description about the actual radio station that I do the talk show hosting on, which is Awesome Radio 106.9 FM WBIS LP. I've actually been the talk show host for the Gospel Unsigned Artist show for the past 3 years. This is my 3rd year now. So to jump into some of the things that I've experienced, and I want to, of course, encourage any other artist there that is listening today or interested in becoming an indie artist, is how to isolate and eliminate distractions. One of the things that I found to be true to myself as being an indie artist is that I have to maneuver and sacrifice and handle time with care. And I say care because I will find myself dividing or devoting my time to things that aren't necessarily effective. And I honestly, at the end of the day, couldn't blame no one why I wasn't being effective but myself. No matter how many people call you or ask you, could you do this or could you do that? Or, they always require your undivided attention, or they always want your attention. It's totally up to you to be the judge of where your time should be placed. I focus more about my time because I work full time. I don't necessarily just do the indie artist thing like full time, because I actually have a full-time job where I commute an hour plus every day that's going to and back. And one of the things that kind of prompt me or encouraged me into, of course, one of the other things I wanted to pull out of the rabbit's hat was that the single that I'm getting ready to release in March, it is self-produced, meaning I self-taught myself with the software that I've used, the program and the system that I use to actually devote a little bit more of my time to recording or self-produce my very first single on my own. This isn't the very first single that I have released, but it is the very first single that I've actually produced on my own. And the reason being of me taking that journey and that leap of faith is because I was looking at the restriction of having time available. And not only am I a musician, so I play, I teach people how to play the keyboard. I sing. I'm also a praise and worship leader, and my mom is a pastor, so I'm part of a church. And it requires a lot of time. And not only am I, just part of that, I also bake. So I have people, clients that are constantly ordering cakes for whatever particular reason. So it's a lot of hats that I wear, but at the same token, all of that is manageable if I would use my time correctly. So one of the things that that really hit hard to me is how we isolate and eliminate distractions in our life. Again, we're talking about people, or it could be a thing that is just requiring too much time for you. But I like my job, and I have to constantly keep putting that out there. I like my job. I enjoy what I do. But it's no way possible that I was placed on this earth with a God-given talent to be able to sing and play and not utilize it and do something with it to help me generate some type of income so that I'm able to work, which is actually doing what I love to do, which is singing and playing, but also generate some source of income. I was actually smart about taking this journey and reluctant about how I was going to go about pursuing it, because I didn't want to quit my full-time job knowing that I already have commitments. I already have other things that I have to take care of, bills and things of the sort that I place, of course, myself in. So I wanted to go about being an indie artist and pushing myself to be mastering in that particular journey, alongside with me making some source of income so that I wouldn't place myself in a binding situation. And I found myself to be around a lot of people that chose that option. And I can't say that it's wrong or it's bad. Just kudos to them if they decided to do that. But me personally, I already knew what my obligations were. I already knew how I wanted to get from point A to point B. And I needed some source of income. I needed some source of funds to continue to fund the very thing that I love to do, which is to sing and play. I have instruments, I have my keyboard, I have software. I have to have some type of money to continue to allow me to be able to use these very things that are placing me in the position to be in now. So, of course, isolating and eliminating distractions mean you have to tell people and things no. So, that was one. The other thing that I wanted to talk, I actually covered two. The other one, of course, was juggling work, school, and family, church functions, social functions, whatever it is. You got to be able to put yourself in a position to tell people and things, I can't this time, because what I'm working on is a little bit more important than what you're asking me to do. I can go out and eat any day. I can go to the movies any moment. I can go shopping any moment. But right now, I'm trying to utilize my time to perfect something so that I can get it out to the people, because I'm on a timeline. And that has to be your decision. No one else can tell you when to do that, but it has to be your decision on how serious you're going to be about your music career. And the other quick pointer, like I said, I wasn't going to be up here long, but the other quick pointer that I wanted to give out to you guys, of course, is having a strong support system. When I say having a strong support system, y'all, I'm not talking about, it don't necessarily always have to be family. It could be friends. It could be complete strangers. And I found this to be the case in a lot of instances where there are strangers that would reach out and would support and will pay homage, and they would just go above and beyond simply because they don't know you. Whereas to family, you have to constantly like remind them how important it is to you. And I think the reason being is because they may have always seen you in a state of you're trying to do it, or oh, she's doing this or she's doing that, and she's doing this and she's doing that. But at the same token, that can become a distraction to you as well, because you're constantly having to remind them how important it is for you to master the craft that you have. And it could be a distraction, y'all.